Jesus Christ. The first day of the trial, did you pay attention to any of that stuff? I looked at it for like 10 minutes this morning, and I was like, I got to stop. I can't look at this.
Well, what freaks me out is the people sitting in the courtroom listening to it.
Right.
And there's a wide spectrum of people that are getting subjected to it, and you just sit there and go...
Yeah, well, not only that, how about the fact that this guy was running this for decades? He was doing this for decades to who knows how many fucking people, and everybody was scared to talk about it because he'd have them...
For nearly 3 decades, the name Sean Diddy Combs has been synonymous with luxury, power, and the elite party lifestyle of the hip-hop world. He wasn't just the mastermind behind Bad Boy Records, home to legendary names like Notorious B.I.G. and Maze, but also one of the rare black billionaires ever recognized by Forbes. Diddy was seen as the ultimate, self-made man, rising from the streets of Harlem to the pinnacle of fame and fortune. But that dazzling spotlight has started to dim. Behind the concerts and powerful handshakes at the Met Gala lies a trail of murky behavior spanning years, now being slowly unraveled in court.
Yeah, it's really wild, man. Evil is a real thing, you know? Nobody wants to believe, because if you believe in the devil, right? If you believe in Satan, you believe in something that's silly. Like most people a lot of people believe in God. If you ask people, do you believe in God? Yeah, well, I'm not religious, but I believe in God. Okay, well, do you believe in the devil? Most people will say no. But do you believe in evil acts? Well, yeah, well, people certainly do evil things. Well, where do you think that comes from? If evil is real, what is it about us that makes us want to deny the possibility that there's some nefarious force that is in human beings, that influences human beings? It's not as simple as like some people are bad, some people are good. No, maybe evil is a real element that you have to fight in life. And that maybe this is just something that's been documented all throughout history, but our arrogance and our secular society wants to keep us from recognizing that as an actual factor.
This trial isn't just a personal lawsuit between a few individuals. It's a reckoning, a pulling back of the curtain on a power system Diddy is accused of manipulating to organize a string of freakoffs, a term that's now become hauntingly iconic across Reddit and Twitter threads. These were sex parties where every boundary was erased, where no one was allowed to leave halfway through, and where all participants were expected to play their part, like puppets in a twisted production Diddy allegedly directed. One confirmed victim, Jane, Diddy's former girlfriend, broke down in court, recounting how she was forced into group sex on her own birthday as a gift she never wanted. But this goes beyond testimony. Lawyers are now locked in fierce battles over the admissibility of key evidence. The moment the first audio recordings were played, where a voice believed to be Diddy's could be heard shouting and giving sexual instructions, the defense immediately moved to have the case dismissed. Their argument, Cassie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the original plaintiff, was lying. But that raises a pressing question. If he's truly innocent, why try so hard to kill the trial the moment evidence surfaces? This wasn't about defense. It was about fear. Fear that once the light starts shining on these dark corners, people won't just see Diddy fall. They'll see an entire network of power exposed. The moment that first audio clip was played in court, the atmosphere changed. This wasn't just sound. It was visceral proof pulling back the mask on a man long seen as hip-hop royalty. In the tape, a deep male voice, believed to be Diddy's, commanded the room with chilling clarity, directing exactly what the people inside were supposed to do. This wasn't a game. It was psychological control. According to victim testimony, Diddy always sat in the corner, never participating directly, but orchestrating everything like a twisted director. He chose the timing, picked the people, dictated the acts, and even called out where and how things should end.
The third alleged victim, who goes by the pseudonym Jane, was back on the witness stand for her first full day of testimony. The prosecutor played an audio recording for the jury of a hotel night with a male prostitute Jane identified as Dawn. On the recording, Jane and Dawn are looking for a condom, but Combs didn't allow it and can be heard saying, quote, "You're taking that expletive." Now, Jane testified, quote, "I just didn't want to disappoint my lover. He would be unhappy and wouldn't be satisfied with me." Jane went on to tearfully tell the jury about her birthday in 2023 when she said she was made to have sex with 3 different men in addition to Combs. The prosecutor asked why. Jane responded, "I don't know. It had become so routine," and added that she turned robotic. Jane told the jury that after a while, Combs didn't have to directly ask her for these hotel nights. She testified, "I knew it was to be expected." Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. If convicted, he faces the possibility of life in prison.
Jane, the woman in the recording, testified that the abuse wasn't just physical, but mental. Every freak-off was a brutal cycle. Forced drugs, no sleep, and being made to pretend she was enjoying it all. "I just wanted to make him happy," she sobbed. "Because if I said no, he would hit me." These weren't words on paper. They came from a woman who had lived in fear for so long. She could no longer tell right from wrong. She described one instance where Diddy grabbed her by the hair and slammed her head into a glass door, just because she didn't smile when he told her to. Another chilling detail emerged from behind the scenes of these parties. A hotel worker who had served Diddy during his travels posted on a forum that every time he booked a room, hotel management was ordered to remove the hallway security cameras on his floor. The reason given: VIP privacy. But that privacy is now being exposed as part of an elaborate setup, systematic and coordinated, to carry out sexual abuse, with compliance from multiple parties. Jane isn't the only one. Other victims have been listed in the case files, and they all have something in common. They once lived close to Diddy, traveled with him on private jets, were called special, until they became sexual tools for a man who could no longer tell the difference between love and control. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's a symbol of a diseased power structure, flourishing under stage lights and behind chart-topping hits.
Rogue or Diddy was like a Epstein type, working for somebody?
That's a good question. Well, it would be a great way to compromise celebrities. Yeah. And get them to say whatever you want them to do, get them to do whatever projects you'd like them to do. And, you know, if you're a bunch of other celebrities are there, you're like, oh, look, Bill Clinton's here. This is fine. Yeah. This is cool. Look at this. Like, Brad Pitt's here. Oh, this is cool. You don't even think there's anything wrong with being there. Meanwhile, you're getting drugged up and filmed, and then they're passing out punch. Have some punch, Aaron. And you have some punch, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling really good. I just feel amazing. You're all mopped up. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Probably a combination of things they give you.
And it's all being filmed.
Crazy. Now, if that's not an intelligence agency operation, it's just one evil super genius who figures out how to compromise everybody by providing this crazy freak-off party. Everybody's got to put their phones away. Okay, we're going to put our phone away. No one's going to know anything. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get cameras everywhere. It's just one guy doing that. What a diabolical human being.
Yeah.
He seems pretty diabolical.
He's probably working with somebody. Or for somebody.
Maybe.
And maybe he just got too far out there.
Some of the shit that came out in the trial, though, like he's forcing his girlfriend to have sex with prostitutes while he was sitting there jerking off with a bandana on. She'd rub the in his nipples. Like, what are we even talking about?
As more victims take the stand with detailed accounts, the public shock isn't just about Diddy's behavior. It's about the shadowy presence of something much bigger, a web of celebrities, billionaires, and politicians who may have known, or even joined, Diddy's parties. In a chilling twist, Sean Combs' name appeared in the infamous flight logs to Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Not once, but at least 4 times. And as many have said, no one ends up on that island by accident. While investigators haven't confirmed anything officially, all signs point to a growingly unavoidable theory. Diddy didn't act alone. The Freakoff system he ran required people to secure venues, control the media, and clean up messes when scandals erupted. And if Jane or Cassie are just the tip of the iceberg, then what we're seeing is only the surface of a much larger disaster looming over the public.
By the way, interesting update from court. Sean Combs' counsel Alexandra Shapiro says some people on the internet think they figured out who Mia is. We got this video, again, that might be used to impeach her credibility. We got this video also from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on some random website. Should we show it to you? I got to ask you, I have to move on to this question, Serena. This is quite alarming. How is this possible?
I have no idea how it's possible, and I'm sure Mia is probably panicking in this moment in time. Like, are people stalking her on the internet, trying to figure out her identity? She testified that she was a victim, essentially. There's rape shield laws that exist to try to protect people in her position. And so this is really getting very nerve-wracking probably for her, and just absurd for the courtroom.
If someone revealed her identity, is that a crime, Tyler?
No, it's not a crime if somebody revealed her identity, especially if they're not a part of this case. The reason they have these confidentiality orders and protective orders is for the parties involved to do their best to protect a Jane Doe or anybody proceeding under a pseudonym's identity. It is possible for the public to learn their identity, but it's really the people who are part of the case who are agreeing to protect her confidentiality. Once she got into on that stand, it's very possible that somebody knew her identity. What I find more troubling and less likely is if this video is being sent by random people on the internet, and that's what they want to proffer as evidence in this criminal trial. I find that hard to be admitted. If they could track the video from one person who could confirm the identity of the person, and then it can be used for impeachment evidence, that's different. But random people on the internet sending videos, that opens the door to
An anonymous attorney who had worked on the Epstein investigation once revealed, the truth is, Diddy has an entire hard drive with video footage. Those parties were recorded, not to be shared, but to be used as weapons. If that's true, then Diddy isn't just a perpetrator. He's the gatekeeper of secrets that could destroy the reputations of some of the most powerful figures in Hollywood. That would explain why so many witnesses have suddenly gone silent, why Diddy's legal team is aggressively pushing for delays and dismissals, and especially why mainstream media has barely touched the story. Alongside this, names once close to Diddy, like Jay-Z, Kanye West, and even Leonardo DiCaprio, are now under more scrutiny than ever. No one is accusing them directly, but their silence, in a case shaking the entire country, raises uncomfortable questions. Do they truly know nothing, or do they know too much? Across social media, videos are going viral revisiting old photos of Diddy standing shoulder to shoulder with powerful figures. From Miami parties to award show backstage moments.
Sami Venjoke, if Diddy falls, olio de segonna shake like a lizard in a thunderstorm.
At this point, comparing Diddy to Jeffrey Epstein no longer seems like an exaggeration. The only difference is, Diddy has the tapes. And if those tapes are real, what he's holding isn't just evidence. It's a knife at the throat of an entire industry that's thrived on abuse and silence for decades.
I've had conversations with people about it, and it's like, Jesus, like just trying to get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like the state of New York, one of the district attorneys was hiding documents that have forced them to give documents. I think there's so many powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
Why don't they air it the same way they aired the coverage that
Johnny
Depp got?
I know. Why don't they? I don't know. They should. The ratings would be amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you air that?
What's going to happen, though, you think?
Well, Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get.
Think he's insane, though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's a lot of it is.
But then it's just another Epstein. It's Elaine Maxwell, where there's someone indicted and nobody else indicted for taking kids to
to no one. Right. What is the next crazy thing that's going to explode in the news? Is Bill Clinton's going to have an OnlyFans? Like, what is going to happen? What is the next thing that's going to make us all go, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's coming.
How many guys were on video saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party? How many people like openly talked about being there?
LeBron?
Yeah, how Ashton Kutcher, all these people. Like, you guys all went. You didn't see nothing? You didn't see nothing?
Yeah.
Donnell went? Yeah. Did he? Of course he did.
Donnell
trying to defend himself.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Is he trying to defend himself right now?
It's pretty funny.
I got to call him up. Donnell, you got to back away from that.
Isn't there a video with Kamala?
She was at one of the Diddy parties?
Isn't she in the background with...
It might have been the difference between Diddy parties and Freakoffs. Oh my god!
They're giving him shit too because he's sitting in his little.
The guy from Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
And then Dave's there too, and then Russell Simmons too. Oh boy! But is that at a party or is that just a group of them together?
They were like on a yacht or something like that.
Okay, but that's not the Diddy party.
No, yeah, it's not like they were kind of.
I think.
Back in 2022, the world was glued to the trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Every testimony, facial expression, even a single eye roll was dissected on every platform, from TikTok to CNN. The trial practically became a reality TV show. But now, with a case that involves sex trafficking, forced abuse, and years of power manipulation, there's not a single official image from the courtroom. No live stream, no cameras, no detailed reports from the major news outlets. Just a few vague blurbs buried in late-night news segments.
En de publicis furios.
On Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit, users are asking, why was the Depp-Heard trial fully broadcast when it was just a breakup? Yet this one, with actual witnesses, audio recordings, and evidence of systemic abuse, is being kept in the dark. A movement has even taken off online with the hashtag #stream the Diddy trial, calling on the courts to make the proceedings public, just like they did with Depp. In less than a week, over 4 million short videos with the hashtag were posted. International YouTubers and influencers like Philip DeFranco, Joe Rogan, and even Azealia Banks have spoken up, demanding transparency. The eerie silence from major media outlets only fuels the fire. Many believe the real reason for the lack of coverage isn't legal policy or journalistic ethics, but the involvement of powerful people who own stakes in media companies. Or, at the very least, are major advertisers in Hollywood. Some even suggest that keeping the trial off air is a way to prevent the public from sympathizing with the victims. Similar to how public support surged for Johnny Depp after each broadcasted testimony. On independent forums, leaked audio clips and victim testimony transcripts are now being shared in pieces. Not through cable news, but through the community. Users have even launched a dedicated website called the Diddy Trial Files to compile everything the mainstream media ignores. It's proof that today's audiences aren't so easily manipulated. They want to see for themselves, hear for themselves, and decide for themselves. The court's continued silence is only adding fuel to the fire. And if Hollywood sees a massive reckoning this year, this trial could be the match that lights it. If every allegation is confirmed and the audio files are verified, Diddy could be facing the maximum sentence, life in prison without parole. But this isn't just about a prison term. What's unfolding is far more than a personal lawsuit between one artist and a few ex-acquaintances. This is a domino chain, and if Diddy falls, a whole line of other names could go down with him. That might be why the entire system around him seems desperate to keep the truth buried. The big question now is, will Diddy fight to prove his innocence, or will he go quiet and take the fall to protect those behind the scenes? Because, according to multiple sources, Diddy holds the one thing Hollywood fears the most: proof. Specifically, recordings of freak-off parties involving many high-profile individuals. If those clips exist, they could ruin not just reputations, but entire media empires, record labels, and financial institutions that once backed him. An anonymous lawyer who worked on the Epstein legal team said, just like Epstein, Diddy didn't just host. He documented. And that library is what's keeping people quiet.
The disturbing part.
No one knows where those videos are now. Some believe they were destroyed once the investigation started. Others think Diddy still has them, as a bargaining chip. If that's the case, then a life sentence might not be in the cards. A backroom deal, a silent agreement, could already be on the table. That's only intensified the public's outrage. And now, people are asking a new question. So who's next? The name most frequently mentioned is Kanye West. Once a close friend of Diddy, often seen at his parties, Kanye has recently distanced himself, going out of his way not to mention Diddy in any interviews. Some analysts believe Kanye is keeping his distance because he knows too much. There are even rumors he's met with a legal team in New York to prepare testimony if he's called in. And if Kanye speaks up, everything could change. Beyond Kanye, other names once tied to the Epstein scandal, like Naomi Campbell, Chris Tucker, and even a few veteran politicians, are being dragged back into the spotlight. Every old tweet, every party photo, every private flight is now under the microscope. This is no longer a one-sided accusation. It's becoming a relationship map, slowly unfolding in front of the public, and everyone's watching, waiting to see who's going to be next. Diddy's trial might only be the first chapter in a very long and very dark story. But it's already made one thing clear: the public is no longer approaching power the same way. Silence is no longer a safe strategy, because now, anyone could end up being the lead character in a global takedown. No one is above it. No one gets a pass. In the end, the most frightening thing isn't what Diddy allegedly did. It's how an entire system allowed him to do it for years without anyone saying a word. No close friend spoke out. No brand pulled their endorsement. No major newspaper asked the hard questions. And when women like Jane or Cassie finally stepped into the light, instead of being protected, they were doubted, attacked, even accused of clout chasing. But that's changing.
The era of silence is over.
Now that social media has become the voice of the masses, now that viewers can spread the truth faster than any newspaper, the justice system is no longer the exclusive domain of the elite. And if the Diddy trial is a turning point, then you, the one watching this video, are part of it. This story isn't just about a powerful rapper getting sued. It's a question of how power can blur moral lines, and just how many other Diddys are being shielded by stage lights, endorsement deals, and secret handshakes behind closed doors. So now, think carefully. If you were one of the victims, would you want the world to stay silent? If you believe the truth deserves to be heard, if you believe justice isn't just for the rich, then help share this video.
Like it, post it on Facebook, TikTok, wherever you hang out online.
Drop a comment below. Don't let this story get buried in a sea of forgettable scandals. And more importantly, hit that subscribe button.
Because here, we don't just tell stories, we follow the truth all the way.
Thank you for sticking with us until the very end. Don't forget, every share isn't just a click. It's a slap in the face of the system that ignored victims for too long. And if you want the next chapter, where we dive deep into Hollywood's blacklist, leave a comment right now. Because this fight is only just beginning.